Hey, everybody. Thank you. I really appreciate. It's really good to be here. First of all, I want to thank God for giving me this opportunity to be here. And I want to thank the organization for inviting me to be here and to speak. I think I'm the youngest speaker in this event. And second, I want to appreciate all of you who came here today to witness this history, because this is where we make history. And this is where we change all the course. For startup, I want to share a little bit about our police. I'm going to talk just a little bit about that, and then I'll jump right to the topic. When we started this year, we told ourselves that this year is going to be the year of action. Right? We're not just going to be talking about things, but it's the time to put on actions. That was the first thing. So if we talk about love, peace, and unity, we want it to happen in action. We don't just want to talk about it, but we want to do it. And the second thing, we told ourselves that in order to see the change that Africa needs, we have to be brutally honest with ourselves. Brutally honest with ourselves, like with Africans, right? Telling each other the truth, even if it's difficult. And also with the world. Tell them brutally honest about Africa. And there's a price to pay, because the world that we are living right now, there's so much lies, and we're living lies. Sometimes, even when you speak the truth, people, they're not interested in the truth. People, they don't pay attention to the truth. They don't want to hear it. But what is truth? Is it what you read from the books? For example, if you want to know about Africa, is it what you read on the book? Things that different people, they write, right, their opinion about Africa? Or is it something that somebody tells you about yourself, that this is the truth, this is who you are? For me, at least for me, the truth for me is that still small voice inside of me. Like when the whole world is telling you that this is impossible, achieving one Africa in our generation is impossible. We have been struggling for that for like 60 years, and we still don't have unity in Africa. It is impossible. There's still a small voice inside of me that tells me that it's possible to achieve that. When the world is telling you that, you know what, you cannot do this. I mean, you're African, you cannot make it, especially outside of Africa, because you're black, you cannot make it. There's still a small voice inside of me that is telling me that you can do. That is truth for me. And each one of us, we have that instinct inside of us. Regardless of what the world tells you, regardless of what has been written in the books, because everybody, everything you see is opinion of people. They did their own research, they discovered some stuff, and they wrote it. That means you can find your own truth as well. And it's inside of you. There's that voice. And if you never heard that voice, then I think you can do whatever you want to do, whether it's meditation, whether it's research, whether it's going to school, and find the truth at the end of the day. Because the truth will be there.
This is the journey to one Africa.
The world we're living in today, and the system of this world, it was never created for black people or for Africans. Like, this system, as they were creating it, like Africa, you and me, we were outside of the picture. And I'm going to be very brutally honest with you guys today. And I know that is dangerous, but it's okay. We need to be truthful to ourselves in order to see change. We cannot see change if we are not truth with ourselves. So it's the time to speak the truth. The system was never created for me and you. You are out of the picture. That's why today, you African, you can go anywhere around the world and still feel like it's not your home. Still feel like you're isolated, exploited. You're not belonging there because it's not your system. Our ancestors, when they were taken a long time ago during slavery and brought there, they were brought there not to have a good life. No, they were brought there to work for white men, to develop them. Today you have a lot of countries out there that are developed because of the blood, sweat, and tears of a black man. That's how it was created. So it's true, today we're fighting for the rights outside of Africa, but I'm afraid that we might not be able to see that. And I'm being optimistic when I say this, because unless that system change, we cannot see that change, because it was never created for you at the first place. But sadly, not only outside of Africa, when you come inside of Africa, we are still struggling with the same system. And today I'm going to share with you some of the lies that we have believed for so long time about Africa and about ourselves. But it's all about the propaganda of changing the narratives and the beliefs about Africa so that we may never succeed. And I'm not going to point fingers at anyone. In fact, I always point fingers at us as Africans. If we want to see change in Africa, I can bring that change and you can bring that change. So the lie began from the very beginning of time, right? And I can ask you one question right now. What does history tell us you about Africa? Who discovered Africa? If you write right now on Google who discovered Africa, you find out that it's one white man that he came and discovered Africa. And you can ask yourself that how can you discover a place that already exists? How can you discover a place that people already live in that place? It is impossible, but that's what the history tells us. That's what people believe about Africa, that it was discovered by a white man. This guy, he came, and then he went back, he gave a report, and then the next we know is colonialism, because those guys, they sat somewhere to divide Africa like a piece of cake, because they discovered it, they own it, it belonged to them. But that is us. We discovered, we're the first people to know. And today you have a lot of people around the world that they think that Africa was discovered by them. So they divided us, right? Divide the continent and give each other some pieces. When you go to Angola, Angola was part of Congo Kingdom, guys. It was not even called Angola. It was Angola. Angola, it means the kingdom. That's the meaning of Angola. Even the capital city of Angola, they say it's Luanda right now, but it used to be called Luanda. But you know, those white men, when they came, again, guys, I'm not anti-West. Don't get me wrong. But again, when those colonizers came, what they did, this is what they say. They say, if you read in the history, they'll tell you that they were not able to pronounce Angola. It is impossible. Like, you are smart, you study, you're civilized, that's how you see yourself, and you cannot pronounce the word Angola. So it changed to Angola. Luanda, it changed to Luanda. And so many other different places. If you type right now on Google, who discovered, the first person to discover Victoria Falls? He's a white man. And he named that place after the name of Queen Victoria. But let me say, because I had to Google something here before I got here. They say that David Livingstone, he's the one who discovered Victoria Falls. But the people of Batonga, they used to name that place Mosi Oatunya, the smoke that thunders. That's the original name of Victoria Falls. But today everybody will say, we call it Victoria Falls. And we say that David Livingstone discovered that. And we still praise the name of the Queen Victoria. The same thing to the Lake Victoria. We call it Lake Victoria. But that lake, it had its original name the way before that guy came and discovered that. These are lies. Not only that, even the word Africa. Do you know who discovered the word Africa? Do you know who named our continent? It's a white man. It was not Africa. Since the beginning of time of Africa, who discovered Africa, the name of Africa, Victoria Falls, Victoria Lake, and so many different places, the name of the countries. I told you that the Congo Kingdom was bigger kingdom all the way to Angola. Let me call Angola. All the way to Angola, and then they divided it. People, like right now, if you see African map, there is part of Angola is inside Congo. Do you know that? Like, there's Congo. I wish I can show you guys the map. Like, but there's Congo here, and there's Angola here, and there's another part of Angola inside Congo. Like, in order to go there, you have to go inside Congo to go Angola. It's inside somewhere there. That's how they divided it for their own interests. And not only that, they used another way to teach different language. So people in Angola, they started to learn how to speak what? Portuguese. And people from Congo, they started to learn how to speak Belgium. Why? They were united, they were strong, but they had to divide them by teaching them different language so that they may not appreciate their culture, they may not be grateful with who they are, they may not embrace their identity and learn another identity. If you want to colonize people, and if you want to kill their culture, just teach them your language. Language is everything. And so our people started to speak different language. And because of that, our people were divided. They started to believe that, oh, I am better than you. I speak this language. You're not part of me. They were not done. They didn't stop there. Oh, they took some of our people. They found some people who, like Africans who were like strong like me, handsome like me. They took them and they took them away of the continent. Skillful Africans. These days we call like brain drain, right? They took them away because they wanted to develop themselves. And today, when you look at African, everybody out there think that Africa, they have low IQ. Who is the founder of IQ anyways? Africans, they're poor. Africans, they need support. Africans cannot survive without us being there, because from the first place, we went there, we discovered them, we taught them, we helped them to develop. Today, we're even happy when you look at South Africa, the way it developed, and we are happy about that. That, hey, look at this. But you can see what is going on in South Africa there. The division that is in that country, our brothers and sisters, it's outrageous. So the lies began all the way from the beginning to divide us, to change us, and to change our history. That's why yesterday I asked that question, because how sure you are, everything you know about Africa, you read from the books and internet, is true. How sure you are. They didn't stop there. They took the artifact and the books. And the good example is here in Ethiopia. I visited the castle in Gonda. And the tour guide was telling me how, like, there's so many historical books that were taken away from Ethiopia. Historical books that they were written by our ancestors. Those guys, they used to see the future. Today we are talking about Africa. Our forefathers, they started to talk about this 60 years ago. They saw a long time ago. These people, like, they were talking to God. These people were prophets. They were not perfect, but they were seeing what is going to happen next. They had those eyes. And they wrote everything on the books, but those books were taken away from us to detach us from our history, from our roots, and from our identity. Today, Africans, we are struggling with identity. We are struggling with division. We look at each other differently because of our tribes, because of our color, because of our nationality, because of our languages. And we're still struggling with that. We don't think we're one people. We don't think we're one family because of someone else who had its own interest to divide and to conquer Africa. And it's still happening today. We ask ourselves every single day, why Africa is poor? Africa is poor because we don't have our identity anymore, because somebody else named our identity. And the big person to blame there is us Africans, who allowed that to happen back then and who are still allowing it to happen even today. We still believe it and we still allow it to happen today. And we're here where we are. I was asking myself, if we know how much unity means to Africa, we know that unity is power. You cannot know the meaning of power, and you cannot know the true meaning of power if you don't have unity. If you don't have unity, you don't have power. Africans, we don't know the meaning of power because we don't have unity. I'm telling you guys, power is not in the military. It's not in that. It's not about that. It's about the unity. And we'll never get to know the meaning of power if we are not united. And leaders and everybody in Africa knows that the only thing that can change Africa is unity and oneness. But we don't pursue it. But we are not ready to do it. Why is that? Because we have been comfortable for so long, living divided, losing our identity, and we are not ready to put on the work to find our true identity from the beginning, the true history of Africa even before colonization. Know who we really are as Africans. This is what I say all the time, that Africa is a big family with 55 different children. These 55 different children, they don't have same behaviors. They don't have the same, they don't look alike. Sometimes they don't even speak the same language. It depends where they grew up. But we are family. Why 55? Because 54, there are countries inside Africa, and that one country is diaspora. Africans all around the world, and they are our family. Because Africa is not just a place, but Africa is people. Me and you, we are Africa. I have 3 more lies to share with you guys. I haven't even started talking about what I was supposed to talk today. Can I have that slide a little bit? These are another 3 lies that the world, from the very beginning of time, has formulated about Africa, and we believe. And the first lie is this one, that the world is telling you this, that there's developing country, there's developed country. That's what they say. I never seen an African say that. Who said that? White man. He said that. That, oh, you guys, Africa, you are a developing country. Oh, us, we're a developed country. Let me ask you a question. Developed country means you got yourself figured out. But why all the time, constantly, you're looking forward and you try to exploit Africa to develop yourself? If you're developed, you don't need to develop yourself. You're a developed country. You got yourself figured out. And we are the ones that are developing. And yet, you exploit us. The truth is, we are all developing country, guys. The reason why there's this lie, so that you may look down on yourself. You may look down on yourself and believe that you need help, you need support, you need loans, you need aids, and you always beg to that because you want to develop. You are still not developed. What is the true meaning of developing, mate? What is the meaning of that? And today, the system of this world was never created for Africans, and yet we still try to develop according to the Western standard. That development is having tall buildings, like long buildings and all this stuff. It's not about that. What about community? What about where people live? What about food? What about infrastructure? Do we really need tall and long building while our people are dying in Africa because of hunger? Why don't we invest that money into food? Why don't we empower our farmers so that they can produce more and Africa will never struggle with food? Today we have to ask for food from outside to come to, like the World Food Organization, they have to support Africa for that. It's shame on Africa and shame on us. The second lie, there's first world country, second world country, third world country. Who is the third world country? It's Africa. And who said that? White man, again. Oh God, I'm too serious today. You guys are not even smiling. Come on, give me a smile a little bit. Who said that? White man. I love guys, white men, by the way. I have a lot of friends like that. I live with them for a long time. So this is not anything personal. It's the truth. And truth shall set us free. We're not ready to talk about truth. We're not going to change. The problem of today is that we are scared to talk about truth because you know that we're going to die. If you speak the truth, you'll die. We have people that already died because of truth. But I'll tell you the truth. It's not worth living for. And the lies. I would rather die because of truth. Because truth set people free. And yesterday I might be gone and people will never remember my name, but they'll remember what I said. Because always the message is more important than a messenger. That's why we have people that have always been talking about this. Now they're gone. Thomas Sankara is gone. Gaddafi was not a perfect leader, but he's gone. And you all know why he was killed. You all know. You can Google and see. The articles written by Time Magazine, by all this stuff. It's truth right there. Because of truth, because what they stood for. But today we're still fighting for that. Because, no one can cover the truth. Africa is a continent that can sustain itself without depending anyone, without relying on anyone for 100, even 1,000 years. Because Africa is the only continent that has everything. Like, name it. Everything we have it in Africa. Is the richest continent in the world. Another lie, guys, I forget. Even the world map you see, it's lie. Like Africa, you see, it's small, right? But Africa, if you look at the mathematics, Africa, it should be bigger than Russia, than Europe, like it should be bigger than the way you see that, like Russia and Europe and Asia. Like Africa is bigger than that. But in the map, you see Africa is small. It's like this. It's also psychological lie. Guys, you can Google. Check it out. The size of Africa on the map. So it's like Africans, we need to create our own map now. The map that we'll use, we teach our people. Because our kids, they always look at the African map and like, oh, our continent is small. No, Africa is big. And we have everything. That's why every single country, continent, they're coming to Africa to exploit Africa. Just a single country in Africa, Djibouti. Do you know how many military bases are in Djibouti? 8 different military bases. Why Why are they there in Djibouti? What are they doing there? What is happening there? We might never know. We will never get to know it because you can never enter those military bases to see what is happening. That's a single country. In Africa, all the countries are coming to Africa to look for opportunities. And yet they're coming to tell you that we're here to develop you. Another lie. Please don't tell me that my time is gone because I haven't even started yet. You got 5 minutes?
I'm sorry, Mika.
It cannot be 5 minutes, guys. Wow.
That was really inspiring, but you have 5 minutes left.
5 minutes, guys. I haven't even started talking about the topic. All right. The last lie, they say world is supporting Africa. It's false. Okay, this one, third world countries, whatever, it's lie. We have only one world, and that is Earth we're living in. Maybe later on, if you go to Mars, that will have 2 worlds. But we are living in the same world. All of us, all human beings are the same. We are special in different ways, but we are the same. All right? World is supporting Africa is not truth. The truth is Africa is sustaining the world. The meaning of the word sustain is strengthen physically and mentally. That's the meaning of sustain. And that's true. Because today, we have a lot of Africans outside of Africa, brain drain. They work for international organizations. They develop other countries. They do that. And it's strategic. So that Africa may always crave for help and support. But we have a lot of bright mindset that will come here and change this continent. Or even change this continent from the outside of Africa. And make this continent the best place for living for humanity. But it's not happening because they're working for somebody else. I'm not blaming them. Because everybody has to find their life and all. I'm not here to blame that, but this is the truth. Africa sustained the world. We have to change the mindset the way we see Africa. My topic today was talking about, let me see this again, just to be very specific. Digitalization and social media to nurture African youth and foster job creation. Can you play that video? So I'm not just talking. There are things that we are doing as Swahili Nation One Africa. And I want to inspire those people who want to do something about social media. Can you start this again? Please take a look at this video, little quick.
Independent economic movements around the world.
Can you increase the volume a little bit? He's actually an African that was born in Caribbean in his there, but he knows himself as an African. He came up with this amazing idea to create this social platform that is actually going to bring change to Africa. Because we cannot be free until we're in charge and we are in control of our own narratives, of our own medias, of our own economy. The reason why we're still poor because our economy is controlled by the Westerners. You can never be free if your economy is controlled. The reason why the media never talks positively about Africa because it's not African media. They have their own agenda. Just like I told you, all these lies about Africa, they have their own agenda. They will never talk positively about Africa. So until we own our own media, speak the truth, share our own truth. That's why we have Swahili Nation YouTube channel. We have this project that is working. It's costing a lot of money and nobody funds it. Like we take money from the pocket. Nobody funds it. Swahili Nation One Africa, nobody's funding even a single dollar. Nobody but us people. Because at the end of the day, usually people, they start with this movement and then they, some rich men just come and buy it and then start working for somebody else. But whatever the case, we want to transform and change Africa. And we cannot change Africa if we do not change. Yes, we're talking about the biggest problem we have in Africa is unemployment. But I want you to change that word problem to opportunity. For me, I don't see anything as a problem. It's an opportunity. Unemployment is an opportunity for you to discover, for you to do something to create jobs in Africa. Because in the age today, it's not about sitting and waiting for government to employ you, but you stepping outside, see the problem. One of my friends once said, you have to fall in love with the problem, because once you fall in love with the problem, you do research, you search about it, and you try to do something about it. And eventually you bring that change that Africa needs. So we can create that. We can do that. And as youth, me and you, we have to use our social media positively, because this is the reason. The image of Africa on the media is negative. And the positive message we share on the media, guys, is not just about showing the good image of Africa, but we are saving people's life. We're in the business of saving people's life. Every single day, a lot of Africans are dying because of these lies we are talking about, because of exploitation we are talking about, because of the choices we are making. Everybody who is in this room and those who are watching, I want to challenge you guys. to use your social media positively, to raise your voice, to speak the truth. And again, what is truth? There is still a small voice inside of you telling something. I want you to believe that. Before even you believe anybody else, I want you to believe that, because every time I believed that, I was right. Every time I followed that voice, I was right. And today I'm standing here in front of you to share that with you. My time is not enough. But at the beginning of this video, I show something, change to change. And basically what we're saying, change to change, means you have to change the world, to change Africa. If I want to change anything surrounding me, then I have to change from inside out. And I'll be able to bring that change that Africa needs. And youth, we're the leaders of today. We're leaders of tomorrow. We always hear that. And we have that in our hands. It's an opportunity for us to bring that change. Thank you so much.
A round of applause. A round of applause again. That was really good. Thank you so much, Mika.
Thank you. I don't have questions?
You do. I can just feel the energy in the room. Thank you so much, Mika. That was extremely insightful and very inspiring. I have gained a lot of information. I'm sure you have as well. Due to time constraints, we will only be taking one question, which we will frame within 5 minutes. So I will take the first hand raised over there. If ushers could deliver the mic over there, please. Please keep the question short. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, MC. So, Mika, my question is, how do you think that we are going to change Africa if the African leaders themselves don't rule Africa, because Africa is being ruled by the Western representative to Africa? Because now we know every country in Africa has a representative, and the president should report to the representative of that certain country. How are we going to change Africa if we don't rule it ourselves? Asante sana.
Asante sana. That's a good question. I'll say this, that power is in the people. For a long time we believe that power is in the leadership, and that's why we believe in Africa. Right? When you look at president or leaders in Africa, it's like God. That's how much we respect and honor them. And when they make mistakes, we're disappointed. We don't want to go back to the countries. We hate the country because we don't like the leader. But it's wrong. You can hate the leader but still love your country. Power is in the people. Yes, leaders maybe they're not doing what they're supposed to do. You know, that's fine. They're not going to be there for a long time. But we as people, what are we doing? Because there are people who are doing amazing work outside the street. There are people that have organizations. People that have schools. They build some schools. People that we're working with in Swahili Nation, One Africa, they have an amazing projects going on. There are one family, I'll be talking to them maybe next Monday. They're Ethiopians, but you know what they do? They came all the way here and saving, do something to change society. If it is food, if it is starting orphanage or schools to support kids, building some houses for those homeless people that we see around the street all the time. That's the change you're bringing. Because I'm telling you, the change is not just about the building, but it's about people. When people are happy, people are united, I'm telling you, it's even easier job for leaders to do. If people are coming together united and bring the change that Africa needs, it's no longer belong to the leaders. You know, leaders, we send them there for them to work for us. But in Africa, when leaders do something good, we clap for them. Oh, you've done, well, thank you so much. No, they're supposed to thank us because people are the bosses. We're the one who choose them to be there. And it's the truth. But we're not ready to talk about that. When you become a leader, it's a responsibility to work for the people, not otherwise. And you have to be a servant leader. When you're a leader, it's not the time to wear a suit like the one I wear today. That's why I always wear a black t-shirt, guys. I have more than 15 different black t-shirts I always wear, and some people are criticizing me. Somebody commented yesterday, said, why you always wear gym clothes when you're in an event like this? You should wear official. So today I was like, okay, just for one day I'll wear a suit. But when you become a leader, in fact, those homeless you see on the street, that's how leaders are supposed to look like. Because they're not busy shopping for clothes. They're not busy sleeping. But leaders in Africa, they have belly. And they're like this. No, you're supposed to be thin because you don't sleep. You're taking care of 100 million people. How can you gain weight? And while people are dying. How can you get a time to go on a vacation to United States or Dubai and take a picture that, how can you have that time? No, stay in your country, work for your people. You'll lose sleep. That's why you see some leaders, when you go to the leadership, you have to come out worse than the time you went in. That's the truth. Leadership is not easy. But these days in Africa, if you want to get rich, be a leader. What about people? So right now the change, guys, I'm saying is the blame game is done. Let's stop blaming our leaders. They're not doing their part. You know, God is going to judge them at the end of the day because a lot of lives of people died. A lot of people are dying, man. A lot of people are dying every single day. Do you know how many people die in Africa every single day? I don't even know because you cannot find that statistic. But so many people die every single day. Even those statistics you see is not true. So we cannot keep looking at them to make change. We have to make that change. We have to speak out. And if they lock us up, man, our message will speak for itself. So guys, you just watch me. If you don't see me again, my message today, right now it's live on Swahili Nation One Africa. People will share about it. And people will hashtag about it. I was still speaking even inside the grave. You cannot bury us. To finish up, Sankara said this: whoever feeds you controls you. That's what Sankara said, and it's true. It's true. We have to feed ourselves. Even if you sleep without having dinner, it's okay. You're not going to die. For a man, you can spend 5 days without eating anything and you won't die. For ladies, 7 days. That means, ladies, you're stronger than men. That's just the truth. That's why I need a lady in my life. Anyways, but what I'm trying to say is, you're not going to die, but as long as you provide for yourself. Africa, we have to provide for ourselves, and there's nobody knows Africa than people. Because leaders, sometimes they just stay in the palace, in the White House. They don't even know the people. Sometimes, I'll not say all of them, sometimes, but we know the people. We live with them, and we need to lift them up from the bottom up. And that's what we do in Swahili Nation One Africa. And the movement here, this is what you do, sir. Anyways, I'll stop there. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mika.